1,000 successful handicappers call the Doc, Howard Sartin.
Thank you. We've been written up in a lot of books, but no author do I appreciate more for his integrity and honesty than Tom Ainsley. For him to say that is an honor indeed. Perhaps the comparison to Einstein is based on the fact that Einstein was a physicist who studied the laws of time, motion, and energy. That's what dictates the winner of a race. The winner and those who come in second and third and pay off. All dictated by the laws of physics, time, motion, and energy. Now, it doesn't deny the influence of trainers, jockeys, and all sorts of other ancillary matters. There's very little we can do about that. But we can do a lot about the utilization of time, motion, and energy to make us winners. And that's what this is all about, to try to make you a winner. This all started in 1975 with a group of truck drivers who had been convicted of felonies and high misdemeanors related to their gambling experience. They were given provisional driver's licenses providing they went into therapy. Most of them were recommended to Gamblers Anonymous, which preaches total abstinence. But a few of them said, hey, abstinence just makes my heart grow fonder. I want to learn how to win. So I took them into therapy with the concept that the cure for losing was not abstinence. The cure for losing is winning. Since that time, there have been, let's see, there's a pile of them here, 22 books, dozens of magazine articles, periodicals, written about the methodology. James Quinn, Dr. William Quirin, Mark Kramer, Dick Mitchell, and so a bunch of authors that maybe you haven't heard about, Sal Sinatra, Charles Carroll, and quite a few others. Then there were magazine articles in Gambling Times, Win Magazine, the Kramer Olmsted Report, a 5-part series in Racing Action by Dave Litvin, in which he actually gave away the algorithms, the computer algorithms, for the old Phase 3 methodology. He went on, but it all started with Huey Mall in Las Vegas. Back in 1976 and 77, he wrote articles in Systems and Methods and subsequently in Frontline, giving away some of our methodological procedures and formulae. He gave us a very good rating, but it didn't really help to keep the method a secret, which is really what I wanted. I wanted to confine to no more than 1,000 winning clients. Now, if you think getting 1,000 winning clients is easy in the atmosphere of a horse racing, you are naive, I should say. Mistakenly naive, because we have a little problem with horse players. The problem is voiced in that question, do they really want to win? Don't say, oh, that's ridiculous. It isn't. I would say that 67% of all persons aspiring to be winning handicappers have a subconscious desire not to win. I've got about 22 years of evidence that proves that. In this Gambling Times article that started the whole thing from the standpoint of the public knowledge, I discussed taking in a group of truck drivers who are all convicted of misdemeanors of the highest order and felonies related to their compulsive gambling, which is now called pathological gambling. Gives it a nice sick twist. They'd been arrested for various things they had done in the course of their truck driving related to gambling, and were given provisional driver's licenses providing they would go into some kind of therapy. Now, naturally, the most recommended therapy is Gamblers Anonymous, which preaches, as does Alcoholics Anonymous, total abstinence. meaning you just don't do it anymore. Mankind has been gambling since the beginning of time. Little things in the walls of caves, from the cavemen indicate that. So absence makes, like abstinence, makes the heart grow fonder. Abstinence is something that the free individual shouldn't have to practice. Why give up something that's a part of life that's almost instinctive in our nature? So the cure for losing is not abstinence, it's not refraining. The cure for losing, I deduced, was winning. And that's the subject of this tape. Trying to convince you that you should become a winner, and trying to show you how with your willpower behind it, you can become a winner. Now we emphasize the term today, the Sartin methodology today. All these books we referred to describe the Sartin methodology of yesterday. The most recent of these books are very flattering, of those by Andy Beyer. And Andy, who did not believe in pace, beginning in 1975 with his first book, suddenly came to realize that pace was not what he thought it was, just early pace. It took into consideration the entire running of the race. So Andy gave us a very nice bit of praise by saying that ours was the only methodology that took into consideration how to win when horses ran early, ran in the mid, or ran late. That was very flattering. And of course, Jim Bradshaw's latest book that just came out recently, called The Matchup, very flattering when he says, "I would like to thank first and foremost my good friend Howard Sartin for his guidance in making me a winner at the track." Jim Bradshaw is one of the top winningest handicappers in all of North America. For him to attribute his success to me is another great honor. The essence of any race, based on what we discussed originally, the physics of time, motion, and energy, is, as in the title of this book, the matchup. Now, there are many ways of looking at the matchup. Dr. Quirin wrote a book, and subsequent books have been written on the value of early speed. Early speed. Well, as even our methodology was proliferated because of all these books and all the giveaways that people did of our formula, so has early speed been overly proliferated. Even the lone early horse has been overexposed. So consequently, when Dr. Quirin first wrote about the value of early speed, meaning being in the lead or right up close by the first and second calls, it has diminished in value considerably over the years. Once you could get $9, $10 mutuals, now the average mutual for the early speed horse, and when I say early speed, I mean the one that the public can detect, is down to about $5.20. The matchup is inherent, and the matchup isn't all early. Let's take a look first at how we determine the matchup. I'll put this up there later. Now here's how the public sees it. They see a horse going out and taking the lead, and if he has ones in his past performance charts, and he looks at, well, that horse is going to hold on and never stop. We designate these horses by what I call ESP, which is a borrowed term from Dr. Ryan's Duke University experiments in extrasensory perception. We call it early, presser, and sustained, and we have a subgroup called early presser. So the early horse goes on, and people perceive that it's going to win the race. The horse pressing comes in second. The horse that presses the early presser comes in third.